In a 3, a 2, a 1, and we should be live. How's it going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming, and I'm joined with the beautiful, lovely, and talented T.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody?
It's going great. How are you doing, Drifty?
I'm tired, but it's okay. There's lots of activity in the chat. Lots of people here learning about the Windows key plus semicolon. International list of emojis.
Thanks to you.
I'm sure some of them already knew about it, but it is kind of cool to know that you can use it in lots of platforms, including right here in the chat, the YouTube. How's it going, everybody? It is 2 o'clock. We got Skepsis D here, Slameski, Drag is here, Proteus. What's up, Proteus? Who else was here? It's kind of just like some regulars chitty-chatting, isn't it? Aerosis, what's up, Aerosis? What's up, Sir Legna? It's good to see you guys. All right, so I'm going to be working on my project a bit today. Kind of chill stream, just a little bit of dev stream. I just finished a mod for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, and it's really cool. It made it to most popular in the past week. Look at this. It's up here on most popular. Bruh, most popular. That's tight. It's not really like super impressive or anything. It's just a mod, but it is kind of cool.
Very cool.
Somebody gave it a treasure. They found the booty. Alright, anyway, just wanted to bask in my fleeting moment of whatever that is. I like learning how the game data bundles use the objects. It's basically JSON, whatever. That's not what we're going to really be doing today. Today, I'm going to be working on this project here. A little bit more. This is our idle game that I've had running here. My guy's jogging. Let's go to meditate. Make him meditate. So, what did I add last? I've added on hover text for in here, so like if you hover over here you can see that this is the neck slot, this is the head slot, back slot. It's still kind of not exactly perfect yet, because like if you like hover off of it, it says equipment menu, but when you hover on it, it's supposed to tell you what it is: feet, accessory, ring, right hand, back slot, head slot, neck slot, left hand, just slot. I'm a little torn if I want this to be left and this to be right, because like on the screen this is left and this is right, but if the character is facing the player, this is his right and this is his left, so it's confusing, right? Man, I don't know if I should swap these around. If I get rid of the player in the middle, then it kind of like makes more sense. This is left and this is right. But then if I have like a doll in the middle here, then like it looks like this is his right and this is his left. So I'm still trying to figure out some design issues. Also, I mean, the code for on hover and on remove happen like when you scroll over the component and when you scroll off of it, not every frame. So like it works good sometimes, but then you're going to encounter the thing where you scroll over. If you just do it enough, eventually you're going to get to a point where we try to do it. Boom, I almost had it. Like, there we go. This is supposed to be the relic slot, but it says equipment menu, because like it switched to, from here it switched off of the feet, went to equipment menu, and it not enough time passed, like one frame when happened, and then the off hover triggered at the same time as the on hover of this one triggered, and so like it.
Could you make the on hover like box just a small box in the center of that box, so then it has more time to transition? Maybe you could avoid the...
I mean, yeah, but then you're just adding more components. You have to consider like there's already a lot of components, and the more components you put on it, watch, let me save this. If I click, like, let's say go to my inventory, let's count how long it takes to load. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
wow.
7. Do you see how many components it had to load? My goodness. In here. Look at these. Look at all these components. So you really want to minimize the number of components that you're showing if you can. So
I
that's
see.
why I'm not using one massive inventory for everything. This will be like a resource inventory. I may even rename it to like reserves or something. And that's why I made an aquarium. Loading, there it goes, for all of these, because you know they have their own components as well.
Right.
So you want to minimize the number of components on any given scene.
That makes sense.
So I mean your thing makes sense and it could work, but you can still, even if it was a smaller component, in one frame slide from the center to the other one.
Right.
And the other problem with that is if you like select the edge of it, it won't change. So there's a couple of issues with doing it that way as well. So the problem with me showing my screen here is, you know, it takes longer to respond to chat. So T's going to be fielding questions and keeping things on track while I'm dicking around over here.
So Muskie asks, it loads faster in game, right? Like, does it cause...
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, okay, watch. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll click status, boom, done, it's done. You know, aquarium, done. Inventory, done.
Okay.
Done. Like, no, it's not.
It's just working inside
Inside of the, yeah. And
like the window editor.
Right.
thingy.
I mean, each component will slow it down slightly, but they're fractions of a second. They're like just frames, a few frames. So look, I can switch through these super fast. Boom, boom. Save the game. Boom, save the game. It's saved. Get out of this menu. Status or options. Boom, here. Go right here. Boom, boom. Like
Nice.
it's really smooth and nice. So, yeah. Boom, boom. Let's chop some wood. Chop some wood. Chop that wood. Chopping the wood. Boom. Getting the wood. That's what she said.
Yep.
It works very well in game. Anyway, today I'm gonna work in RPG Maker MZ doing some databasing. Feel free to ask any questions. You know, I don't really know how much I want to stream this going into the future, to be honest. Just because, like, yeah, I'm working on my project, but like, I feel like I waste time showing it and explaining it. But I mean, I'm sure some people are interested. I just don't know if it's like enough to make it worth continuing to stream it. It's not like I'm showing off a bunch of cool flashy maps, you know. It's like I'm adding database entries and
It's very
typing
interesting
code.
what you're doing, though.
Well, thank you. I find it interesting, but like it's because that's my game. Obviously, anybody finds their own game interesting, and if you
True,
don't, then
true.
you should make another game, start over or something. Anyway, go back into the engine now. This can just keep running.
I found a problem in one of my plugins today. It's very frustrating.
What's that?
If you transfer in, it's a sound proximity plugin, so if you're within a certain range of an event that's set to emit a sound, it does it at a volume relative to your position from the event.
Right.
So if you go from another map, though, and you transfer into the range of a sound event,
it won't play.
it doesn't play until you take your first step.
Because when you do a transfer event, it's not actually loading your X and Y yet. It's not actually loading the player's move functions.
It has the X and Y data, but it's not like checking it. Like it checks it on every step.
The object has a underscore X underscore Y data, but it doesn't run the check until you take the first step.
Right. So that's annoying. I'm just trying to think about how to fix that. If I can get that smoothed out, I definitely want to. So like now I've grabbed a couple of the transfer related events and tried to add some things to it, and so far it doesn't seem to do, well, I mean it does stuff. I can get the game to crash sometimes, but it doesn't do what I want it to do. It's like something isn't running. I need to find out what it is so I can run it.
Run it.
Run it!
A thing I was considering doing is changing the battle background, or not the battle background, but the background color to be what's most relevant. Like for mining, it would be like this brown color. And then like when you go to the aquarium, it would just switch to like this blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm not sure how I want to go. I think I'll make an option in here. And like over here, a checkbox that says auto. And if you select auto, like I'm going to have a bunch of these. Or maybe just 10 is fine. And then I'll have like an auto button here. Or here or something. I don't know.
That makes sense.
And then if you check auto, then it won't use any one of these in particular. It'll use a different one for each screen. So if you go here, it'll be the blue one. And then if like you're lumberjack, it'll be like a green one or whatever.
That sounds like a cool option to have.
Yeah. And so like you won't get bored of any one because they'll all change when you switch through them.
Hey Barry, what's up?
What's up, Barry, aka Van T? It's good to see you. How you doing? Anyway, I need to add some equipment if I want an equipment menu to exist and actually work properly. So I'm going to start with the head slot, and I'm just going to make some of the gear that matches with the tiers of metal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, and then we'll put some placeholder numbers and stuff, stats down, and we'll go from there. Are the HUD bars going to change color too? I mean, they do. Like you can see right here when you're mining iron, it's like a sandy color, like a dark kind of tan sandy color. But if you go to like lumberjack and you see that it's more like a mud and then green color over here. And then like say you go fishing, it's more of a blue aqua green color. So they do change. If you go to like stat training, they're all different. Like the TP training one is yellow, and then meditation is like, you know, blue. Going for a jog, that's red. Lifting weights, these are your stats, and they will all be the same green color. And all of the experience color, I want to make it clear what I don't want to confuse the mind too much, the eye too much. And so like when you see this gold and orange to yellow gold color, it will always represent the experience of that thing. And then, you know, down here, the green for progress and the gold, yellow for experience will stay the same, but the other bars will have their own colors that make the most sense to me. Are you going to make it play to win or micros? It's both, but actually mostly just time. Like it'll be, what do you mean micros? Microtransaction? No microtransactions. Play to win, not even that much. So play to win, it's an idle game. So the idle game means like you basically you click it and you let it start going and you go do what else you're gonna do. You're gonna make your coffee, make your breakfast, come back. Your character's stronger. It's not like a huge center focus. There will be some active things, like that's why you have a stamina bar. You'll be able to do certain things with your stamina, which slowly builds up. Yeah, I mean, mostly it's just going to be like you set the course of action you want to take, and you do something else. Yeah, I know it's a weird concept too. Playing the game is by not really playing the game, but that's actually a thing that there's an audience for. It's just called the idle. It's an idle game. And there will be some active elements as well, like clicking on certain things, stuff that uses stamina, and then we'll do stuff based on using stamina. It's not going to be free. So I don't need to, I'm not using I'm not going to do microtransactions. It will just be, if you buy the game, you have full access to everything in the game. Is there an option to pick up and play? I mean, yeah, you just buy the game on Steam and then you create a character. You know, you play the game and you can do whatever you want to do. You can just level up. There's going to be a lot of things. Right now it's just early, and you've got stat training for your character. You've got different crafting and gathering skills. I might put in some offline training so you can have your guy mining these or chopping wood and then save the game. And then like when you come back and load the game, it'll look at how long has passed in this scene versus how long what the last task you were doing, and then it can just say like award 55 logs because you were logged out for 10 minutes or whatever, you know, up to a certain point, like 8 hours or 12 hours or something like that. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. Probably won't need to do stuff like that. I had to write a batch file with some special code to make it run while it's minimized. So playtesting, it won't run if it's minimized, but it will if you run it from Steam. And I'll show you that code right here. Basically, it's just a .bat file, and when you click play, it'll run this, which just launches a little box window for a second, and it'll just jump right into it, and then the game will load. You'll see it pop open with a box and then disappear, and then the game will start. And what that'll do is it'll do a few things like enable node worker, disable the RAF throttling, disable background timer throttling, disable backgrounding occluded windows, renderer backgrounding, and set the window style to hidden. So like it can run while it's minimized, and it won't like pause essentially, because now in playtest and whatnot it does pause. Like if I were to minimize it, it would stop training my guy, and that defeats the purpose. So we had to make a workaround so you can minimize it and it actually does keep working. Your progress will keep going. What I want to do with this is like you click on your head slot and it'll change scene again, and it'll show you all of your helmets. You click the helmet you want, and then it puts it on, adjusts your stats, and also like when you hover over it, it'll show the stats of that helmet here. So I need to make the database, and then I need to write the code. I need to make the scene in HUD Maker, and then I need to add the components and write the code for the on hover, on click, and actually write the script call that will have the player equip that item and whatnot. So there's a lot of things I need to do, but you got to do the boring part to get to the fun part. So I'm going to be adding helmets first.
Yay, helmets. That's my highly intellectual input.
Yay, helmets. This is like running macros back on Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, it really is. It's like RuneScape without RuneScape being running. It's like a RuneScape game where you just train your skills with macros and stuff, essentially. But like the actual gameplay is designed around making it so that you don't have to manually click for everything you do. It's kind of more of a kickback game. The HUD looks similar to Albion Online. Interesting. RuneScape Bot Simulator. Exactly. I should probably mark it as that. Nah, I'll get copyright infringement. These icons I made with Yanfly's icon generator a long time ago. What color? It's kind of like a aqua color. $5, $10, $15, $20. $25. Oops. Zebrium. which is a yellow color. You like the concept, Steve? Thank you. It's not an original idea. This is an original game, but it's not an original idea. It's like when people saw that the arenas were very popular, everybody made their own, you know, survival arena type of game. Vino with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Vino. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you. Look at all those emojis. Thank you so much. Appreciate that $10. I hope you're having a good day. Says, hi, I saw emotes, so I spammed some too. Drifty says, you got to do the hard stuff first before you can get to the fun stuff. Just describe my chaotic past for 5 months. Yeah.
I hope it's calming down a little bit, Vino.
Yeah, Vino's been working his nutsack off. Hopefully you have some nutsack left to work on your game and chill.
Arrow, there's one from, there's a mini-map plugin from UnProPro, I think. I don't know if he did it for MZ, but I don't think it relies on images. And then HUD came out with one too, but I think that one may rely on images. I'm not sure.
Yeah, UnProPro made a mini-map plugin. Raccoon did one as well?
Oh, UnProPro's is MV only. Yeah, Raccoon did one. It's a paid plugin, but I think you have to add images. I'm not entirely sure though.
Question,
I could be wrong.
Question Arrow says, have you seen the Fossil plugins for MV? It may be possible to run the Fossil plugin and then put the UPP underneath that. So Fossil is a plugin that lets you run MV plugins in MZ. And it's, you know, it's all it does is it converts like some of the code into a different code. Vino with another $2 super chat. Thank you, Vino. Appreciate that. Puppy got stitches out yesterday. Fully recovered. That's awesome. Very cool. Is that a new puppy or is that your longtime friend?
Yeah.
This is a longtime friend.
Her eye ruptured.
Oh, yeah.
The blind doggy.
Is it both eyes blind now?
Yeah, both eyes are removed now, right, Vino?
That's sad.
Yeah.
Poor blind puppy. More needy than ever now.
Yeah.
Vino's good friend. Puppy. I'm happy to hear that your puppy is fully healed. That's why I can't get dogs, man. You get too attached, and then, you know, they only have a certain amount of time on this earth. And how do you deal with it, you know, when it goes?
You get sad.
Yeah.
But it's not. I totally want a dog.
Well, we can't have one
I still
here.
miss my Jada. She was the best doggy ever.
There's just not enough
not
room
here. Yeah.
to accommodate.
It would have to be a better situation.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, if you have like a you know, I would like to buy some land and have lots of running space and stuff for a dog. And if we had that, I would say, yeah, go ahead and get a dog.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not in the picture. It's not going to happen.
I've always said, like, if I were to get a dog, it should have room to just play.
It wouldn't be fair to your dog.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh. Fossil can do the trick. Yeah, there you go, Aerosys. Give Fossil a chance. It doesn't work with all plugins, but it may work. So give it a chance. Put Fossil at the top, and then run your MV plugin underneath that and see if it actually works. There is like plugin command functions that let it work. See, like this whole time we're talking, it's like I'm stuck on a database. So it's much more engaging when we have T showing off her beautiful maps.
Oh.
So I don't know if I'll be streaming this game going into the future, guys, because it's like what I do here is I interact with the audience a lot. And it's hard to just keep working and also interact with the audience.
It is.
And stuff.
I actually, when I've been streaming this week, I miss most of the comments and I go back and read them after the stream because I'm not as multitask as Drifty, apparently. He does a better job than I do.
Aerosys says it works with Fossil.
Nice.
There you go.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Glad to hear that.
We've solving problems one at a time.
And in the future, just for your reference, I believe the one HUD made does use images, but his free version procedurally generates like blocks or something. So you have two options.
All of these numbers, prices, and stats are arbitrary and placeholder until I go through and do a balance pass. But right now, I just want to have some kind of basic items in the database so that I can work with and write the other components that need to be written and stuff. All right, that'll be good for now. I have something in the database. I'll hit OK and I'll save. That way it'll update inside the other program, HUD Maker as well. I don't, Chris. The only time I get progress done on this, to be honest, is when I don't have other stuff I'm doing. Like, I've been judging entries for the Game Jam. I've also been writing mods for other games. And so, like, I kind of spread myself real thin. That's what she said. And also Lily, she doesn't give you the focus you need a lot to get work done. If you've ever had a baby, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
It's not the same, even though you get like 45 minutes here, or maybe she'll be watching a show for 30 minutes, or you're constantly being
interrupted.
Dada! Dada!
Oh, my most
and I love it, but
favorite
it
thing though
stops you.
lately, she's been coming in and saying, "Honey."
Yeah, because
honey, and she'll put her hand on his arm. Honey.
T calls me honey, and so she's very like she's like a sponge. She just replicates, and so she'll hear mommy call me honey, and then she'll come in here, and she'll go honey, honey. Honey, playground show. She wants to watch a playground show, or she'll tell me something else like that.
This morning it was adorable. She was waking me up and I said, "Oh, mommy needs coffee." And she said something about Dada making the coffee because he makes the coffee a lot. So she's like, "Dada, make the coffee." And I said, "Yeah, Dada should make some coffee." And so she leans over him and goes, honey. Something coffee.
She said, Dada, or she said, honey. Fafshi.
Yeah, something Fafshi, which is her word for coffee.
Time to make the coffee.
Yeah.
She calls it Fafshi, whatever.
She told him to make coffee for me this morning, and it was like one of the best moments ever in my life.
Don't blame the Lily. Sir Legna, do you have kids? You don't have kids, do you? Otherwise, you would understand.
Yeah.
And when I didn't have kids, I also did not understand.
Kids are intense. They're very intense.
It's consuming. It is consuming, man.
Especially 2-year-old kids. Oh, she already wants to make the coffee for us, Vino. She wants to do everything. She's extremely independent.
I'll hold her and I'll let her do one or the other. Either hold the coffee cup where I grind the beans, or use the spoon. And I usually do the scooping because she spills.
She makes a huge mess. Yeah.
Yeah, but then she likes to press the buttons, and we got a new Keurig recently, so she's been learning how to do the button pressing.
Yep. Yep. She'll look at her garbage in our bedroom. She'll be like, "Yep, this needs to be taken out." She'll just go over and start taking the garbage out.
I know, that's fascinating. I don't know if she's just like, she's got a natural inclination for tidying an area. She destroys areas, but she does. But if she sees the trash is full, she'll try to grab the bag and take the trash out.
Yeah.
Which is
as she finishes her food on her plate,
she can barely lift
it to the sink. She can't even reach the sink, but she gets it in the sink, and she's very tidy.
Marcel says, in a few years we have kids too.
Yes. Everybody have kids. I recommend it. It's torture, but it's awesome at the same time.
It is both the most terrifying thing in the world that you're going to experience, and the thing that will bring you the most joy in the world.
Yeah.
At the same, they're both the most terrifying and the most enjoyable thing at the same time.
Yes.
It's maddening, though. It is maddening. And don't expect to get any work done. Just don't think you're going to get anything done, because you won't.
She can be an unreasonable tyrant sometimes. An adorable, unreasonable tyrant. I'm trying to teach her right now to wait. So every once in a while when she requests something, I'm like, wait a minute. I'll get it in a minute. And I'm trying to teach her, like, you don't get things immediately. And she's just, this is an absurd concept for her at this point.
Babies are like drunk grandparents. They mumble and waddle around and shit their pants and are entitled and ingrateful. And yeah, like that's just how it is. They're like drunk grandparents that you have to take care of.
She's cool. She's a cool kid.
All right, let's make a new scene here for helmets. I'm wondering though, like, do I just do a pop-up? I feel like I need...
Then they grow up and make you proud. I told my oldest that she needs to find a job, and within a few weeks she found 2.
She has 3 now, yeah.
She has 3 jobs now. Yeah, she's an overachiever.
She's 21? 21 now.
20... No, 20.
20? She's going to turn 21.
She's turning 21 this year.
She's a 20-year-old with 3 jobs.
3 jobs, her own apartment. It's tidy. I went over to visit her and I had to use the bathroom. And the bathroom was clean and all organized and stuff. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I told her, you're kicking some butt. She was like, thanks.
She's also a cool kid.
Head slot. Maybe I do like equip head slot, and that's what I'll call the HUD. Alright, and let's take the status. Banner group. We're gonna take the banner group, which is certain things.
Marcel, he says, arrows. My girlfriend is a little bit afraid of raising 2 kids at the same time, as I'm still a little child deep inside. That's every husband and wife. We're all kids. None of us grow up completely. I don't believe it. I don't believe in adulthood. It doesn't exist. You making a new scene?
Yeah, I made some helmets too. Fucking hell. I have to do it like this. Edit.
I have to see if this works on my project because I'm going to cry if it doesn't. I really want to use it for my menus. Sir Legna concurs. He says, what does it mean to be an adult? I don't know. If I ever find out, someday I'll tell you.
Alright, so what'll happen in here is just going to select something. And if they click a component in here, it will try to equip the... I missed a $2 super chat from Vino. My bad, Vino. Thank you so much for that $2. Appreciate that again.
Thank you, Vino.
You're awesome, dude. Love you, man. Thank you so much. He says, so you're calling this game what? Shroonscape? Shroonscape. It's not RuneScape, it's Shroonscape.
Hey, you know what? That would probably be legal.
Yeah.
You could get away with it.
Not very ethical, but legal. No, I'm calling it Ronin. Just because, I don't know. It makes sense to do like a 1-word, couple syllable, something idle. Ronin, idle. And putting idle in the name of the game, it just helps because you want to classify what type of game you're making. It's a very specific type of game. It's an idle game. Ronin idle. And I like that, and I'm going to just stick with that. Vino also forgot that I missed it. You're too kind, man. Thank you so much for showing up and dropping some money.
Well, that's a good question. Chris asks, do the fonts in HUD Maker get imported from your project file?
Yes, they do.
Cool.
So if you change your fonts in the game, they will show up inside of the HUD Maker.
That's really neat.
If you, like, for here, let's just edit this one. When I click font family, it'll show all of the fonts that are in your game's font folder.
Oh, nice. And
So-
you get to choose from them, or?
Yeah, you can choose from them, and you can decide to use as many or as few as you like. And you can leave it all default, and it will use the one that the game engine is currently using to draw
Wow.
all the text.
That's really cool.
And
Ooh,
right now,
that is so awesome.
yeah, right now my default is the Roboto condensed. I think Veroclaw or Wrath of Wood or somebody recommended this font, and I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's a great font. And so I went with it. And so, but I select it manually. But if I would have left it default, it'll still use Roboto.
Right. That is so cool, though. So, like, if you want windows or menus in different font styles, you can.
Yeah, easy.
That's awesome.
All you have to do is inside of MZ game open folder. There's a font folder. Add your font. You see why I've got Roboto condensed here, and that's why it shows Roboto condensed inside of the font family. So if you want it to
Nice.
appear, all you have to do is add a new font in here, and then you have to save the project. Put the font and then save the project because it like does a thing, and then you have to click on this little button right here, reload.
So you can
You click-
have
You
can
reload.
have a font for your show messages and one for your menus, and they could be different.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool.
It's no problem. You don't want to have too many different fonts in your game.
Right.
You want to, one or two is fine. Especially like if you do one for just the damage numbers or all the number pop-ups. It's cool to have a different font for that. It just that would be more
And your
bigger,
title-
bolder, more
title screen?
Yeah, and title screen could have its own font.
Your menu can have a different font.
You don't want too many different fonts.
Yeah.
And it's just general bad design to do too much of that. But the game will let you have as many fonts as you want. Sure, why not?
That's awesome.
All the fonts. That's right.
Have every letter in the game have a different font.
That's actually a style. Like if you're sending a ransom letter,
Yeah.
if in your game somebody's holding somebody for ransom, you could have the ransom letter be every letter is a different font.
Yeah, you could do
It would
that.
like replicates. They're like using like a magazine. They cut out magazine pieces to like make a letter,
Yeah.
so they can't trace the handwriting of the person. Ooh, Sir Legna, a new plugin idea for you. Make a plugin that you put like 50 fonts in, or however number of fonts you want, and then when you show text, every letter or have parameters, every 2 letters, every 5 letters, every word is a different font. That's a good plugin idea.
Yeah.
And call it the ransom letter plugin. Inspiring innovation daily. He's like, nah, that's really not a good idea, though. Nah, I don't want to do that. Nah, it's not a bad idea.
I just want to fix my plugin.
Your sound?
Yeah.
Proximity sound? That's really not an issue. I don't think that's a problem, because who transfers into a map and just sits there?
Me.
Really?
Well, you notice it. Even if you transfer in and you take a step, there's like that blip. So it's not perfect. It's not a perfect transition. It has to be perfect.
Okay.
Have we met?
All right, I'm going to add new components. I'm wondering, do I need the little bar thing here to show that your progress? No, I don't want the player to stay in the equip scene too much. So, like, I won't add any extra stuff that doesn't need to be there. I think makes sense to just have what you need in the scene. Okay, let's add a new group. And we're going to call this group Helmets. Sure, why not? And inside here, we're going to add a component, and it will be an icon. Let's go back to the database. And the first icon is 1731. Let's make this fat, 300 by 300. And
Yeah,
what helmets.
I'm trying to do that. Sir Legna says alias the transfer function to do that check on transfer. I've tried a couple different ways. I'm actually just staring at it right now.
That's what I told her.
The problem is I'm really tired and my brain won't cooperate. But I have tried a few different methods, and so far all I've managed to do is break it.
That's literally what I said.
Well, it's the answer, but I just got to figure out like what words to put in there to make it do the thing right. I think I need to add a switch to my plugin, because the problem is it runs fine on the map where the plugin's being used, but on maps where the plugin isn't being used, it breaks it. And it actually doesn't do what it's supposed to on the map where the plugin is being used yet.
Let's see. I gotta do some math real quick. Exhilarating content. It's 48, no, it's 32 times 300% is 96, and then you've got 720. 7 down with a buffer of 1, let's say, so 6. You can draw 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, how much across? We do 3, so that's 18. Am I going to have more than 18 helmets? No. There's not going to be more than 18 helmets. Am I going to have more than 12 different helmets? Probably not. But I want to make room for 18. So if I put these 6 like that, and then 3 rows, I don't know. I think 12 makes sense. Because if I do get to a point where I've got more than 12, I can just that'd be a pain in the ass. Probably won't do that. 12. 12 is fine. So then I can split this in half. Helmet here with its description. Helmet here with its description. Helmet here with its description. That way I don't have to do the on hover thing. Although it would make more sense to do just the helmet, the name, and then a box at the bottom that shows the stats. But it's easier for me. I'm trying to figure out what I want it to look like. Do I want to have the helmet and the name, and then when you hover over it, it shows the stats in a box for each of them? Or do I just want to have the helmet, the name, and the stats? I think the helmet, the name, and stats, because it won't be that much. It'll be like description. Icon, name, description. And that's it. 3 components per item. And then I can fit 1, boom, boom. There's like half of this, and then another, boom, boom, boom. If you leave empty space, Drifty, then you tease the user that there is more to the game without explaining it. That's true. So maybe we won't make space for 18, we'll make space for 12. To be more realistic with the player. Sir Legna recommends getting more sleep. Writing bad code while tired, just make more work when you're awake.
I should. It's true. I think we got like 6 hours of sleep last night. Probably not enough.
Alright, I'm going to add the next component. This will be Iron Helmet text. And it's just going to be the name. I don't need to reference this in code and be like, item blah 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 dot name, because I already know what it is specifically, and we'll just, yeah, it'll be fine. We'll left align. Let's put it in the same area so it'll snap. I can make the font bigger though. Let's go with 42. And it'll leave space for longer names. That'll work. Cool. New component. Another text component. And it will just be Iron Helmet Stats. And I could reference the item ID, dot, a description, etc. But I could just also write the description in here since it's really short. Why isn't it snapping to the top here? I don't know. It is snapping to the side though. That'll be fine. Sir Ligna says Deadpool 2 weeks. Drifty wants to change the name and doesn't know why the HUD isn't changing. Huh? Did I miss something?
I don't know.
Chris Williams says, can you customize the various bars above and beyond the coloration? I'm going to go back and watch your tutorials, but it's slow going for me. Customize the various bars above and beyond the coloration? Yeah, you can. Sure. Yeah, you can add components, like animation components, like stretching them, removing or moving where they're placed, change their X and their Y, adjust the hue, like a hue slider, rotation, like some stuff is built into the HUD maker. Like you can make something just span in place, or like when you click it, like here, let me show you. If I go inside to the game, I don't know if you're still here, Chris, but if I go to options, watch what happens when I hover over these buttons. It's a little thing, but you see how they change in size as they're hovered over? And then watch what happens when I click on one. Do you see how it showed the one that I was clicked on and did like a hue all the way through the 360-degree hue, so it went through like rainbow every color? And now I'm on 7, so if I click on 8, it's gonna do this one, then this one. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Do you see that? So you can do all kinds of stuff like that and animate them. And then if I go out into the menu, it shows you the one that you're set on. Like it's very subtle, but I like adding this little bit of polish. See, we've selected 3, and if you look at 3 when I enter the menu, it does like a little rainbow. Like this is the one you're on. And I kind of want to add sound effects too, but I'm always not sure about adding sound effects and sound at all in an idle game, because the point of this is to not have it interrupt the main thing the person is doing, because usually this idle game is not the main thing. That you don't sit there and just play your idle game. You have your idle game on the side while you're like watching Netflix or while you're doing something else. So you don't want it to be too sound obtrusive. You just want it to be visually pleasing. So I haven't added any sound at all. No sound effects, no music, nothing. I will at the end, you know, giving time restraints or whatnot, add the option for sound effects, but have them turned off by default. So if you want sound, you have to go into the options and turn on the sound, like toggle on, toggle on. Well, music is like the hardest one, because none of the idle games that I've played, and I've played 20 of them for market research, none of them have music. And so I feel like it's just an aspect of an idle game not to be audibly intrusive. But I mean, you could have it optional, like another button inside the options that'll take you to like a music player at the bottom, and sound 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and these are all the songs or whatever. Okay, now I need to, before I make all of them, I need to make it so that when I click on the helmet, it equips the iron helmet if the player has it. Which one, Slim? Which idle game have you played that's got music? I'm sure some of them do, but like, yeah, I would just turn it off because it's never my main focus of what I'm working on. Like, I'll have it going while I'm working on my project, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I want my guy to be training whatever skill. Okay, go back to fishing. Go back to fishing. My guy's fishing. I'm like, okay, cool, he's fishing, and then I'll go back to doing whatever I'm working on. And then I'll check it in an hour, and you know, sell the fish, and then make my guy go back to like smithing or something, and go back to work and do what I'm doing. And I find that fun. It's a nice little reprieve while you're working on stuff. So should I display the number of helmets that the player owns? Maybe I can add another component to see how many of them they own. Barry says, I did the music you've had running. Oh, you dig the music? It's not Final Fantasy, it's the RPG Maker MZ official OST. It's the official RPG Maker music. It is just a list of all the songs except for Battle 7, because F Battle 7. Yeah, I figured you said dig. Now, I won't put the count, the item count here. We'll keep it simple. I'll have another menu, like Armory. And it will be smaller buttons. And it'll be like Iron Helmet times whatever. And if you click on it, it'll try to sell it. A box will pop up. Sell this. Or no, maybe I'll have another scene called... I don't know. Sell? No, I don't know. What's it called? I guess like vendor? Vendor? I don't know. We're not there yet. At this point, I can essentially copy and paste a component, drag it down, dark steel helmet. This is actually dark steel helmet icon, and have it show the proper icon, which is going to be 1734. Damn it. All right, so like it'll go like that, and then you'll have all of them all the way down and save the progress. Copy the group so it keeps alignment. That should be the idle music, just random MZ tunes. Technically, I could use all of MZ music because it's made with RPG Maker MZ, and that falls in line, obviously. But I don't want to use default MZ music in the project. I just don't think it needs it. If I put music, it'll be custom music I make, and it'll be like a short playlist of like 8 songs or something. And be realistic. I don't want to really have much recognition of any engine that I'm using. Obviously, anybody who knows the engine will be like, oh, these are icons from whatever engine. I've seen them on the forum, so this is obviously this from this engine. But it should feel much different than the majority of RPG Maker games. This shouldn't feel like an RPG Maker game. Obviously, it's an idle RPG. You're going to have a lot of RPG elements. But let's try to make the scene transfer events and the scene back events and the character equip code and all that, and we'll call it. I think that's a good idea. So when you click on the iron helmet, it needs to run a check. It needs to do a conditional. It needs to be like, do you have an iron helmet? And if you don't, then we need to make a little text pop up saying you do not own an iron helmet. And that's all. I know that would be confusing though, because you're like, oh, what do I have already? So I need to make a count. Need to make like number owned. I think I have an idea, because I don't want to have too many extra components. Why don't I just move this over and put a number in front of the icon? That makes the most sense to me. X position, let's add 32. So it's 672. Now we need more than that. Let's add another 32. 704. That's 64. It's moving over. Add a new component in here that says equipment count text. You know what works really well is having a whiteboard and drawing out the way you want it to look on the whiteboard. So then when you get into the HUD maker, you can visualize it by, you've already visualized it and you have it right there. So you know what it's supposed to look like. And then if you don't like the way it looks, you just erase it and draw it again instead of moving all the components around. And I've done that in the past and it works really well. The whole thing needs to move over more. 736. That's probably better. Yeah, and then it makes sense. I can do this again. This is like half the screen, so little space between, and start that again on the right side. That'll work fine. And then I'll put a number right here. New component, text. It takes a long time to do all these custom scenes, but it would take longer to write it out and create it with code, with just code. I think RPG Maker needs like a HUD maker of its own, essentially, that makes this whole process work just like this, but you know, as simple as possible, but not sacrificing functionality. But people want to make their own menus. They're tired of making their game look like every other game. And they don't want to have to know how to code everything in JS by designing custom scenes. They want just a menu editor. They want the whole process de-skilled, essentially. And it will get there eventually. It just depends on, you know, how desperate they are to keep selling their engine. It won't be easy because it'll take a lot of code. What is possible? It'll be a fun challenge. At the end of it, you'll be like, damn, that's a nice addition. Whatever. Let's move on. We're going to use an item count for this. It will be an armor count. Luckily, this is built in, so I can just see. I don't have to check a variable or anything. This is updated inside. It takes data from the engine, so that's really great. And this will be iron helmet count. This can be a much smaller number. Align to the right. This should be in here. Can be a larger number, so you have space for it. Center or top? I think or bottom. It's gonna work better if it's set to bottom, because then I can align each to bottom. There we go. And then I can... Hold up, this shouldn't be equipment count text. This should be... Oh yeah, it is. Iron helmet. Let's copy this. Paste it here. And just modify this to be dark steel helmet. Once you've set it up, it's a lot of copy pasting, and then you can move stuff around and change the icon and change whatever, you know, and it becomes easier to do. We've added the items to the database. We've set up the components inside the menu. We haven't made a way to teleport into this scene, and we haven't made a way to get out of this scene. There's also nothing that will happen when you get here besides looking at it. So let's add some on-click components. The first one is when you click on head, it will take you to this scene. So let me save this real quick and go to status. Takes a second, it's a lot of components. And then the head box, we can edit this component and add a new add-on that's on click. So when we click on it, we want it to do some code. Actually, let's do it, have it call a common event. On click, we want to change menu exactly. So we're going to call common event 62 to happen when we click on this box. Save this, go here into the engine. We'll go to common events and make 62 be a menu transfer. It's essentially like any of these menus, so I can copy what I got going on here, paste this here. Oops, gotta copy everything in here. and then I'll name it properly so I can remember what this is supposed to do. Menu to equip head. So we turn the fish sprite off. We're going to change this to the exact spelling of the HUD name. So equip head slot. Plug in command, edit this, change it to the HUD equip head slot. All of this is remembering what setting you used for the background. If it was changed, it would need to be changed. So actually, it would work, but we have to, because we made a common event, the game has to be restarted. So we're essentially just going to restart this with F5. So now if we go to our equip, we click on the head slot, it takes us here in game. Very nice, very nice. And we can get out by clicking here or clicking back on this. So there really doesn't need to be a, like, any other thing, but when we click on this, we need it to do something. It will also take us back to this scene if it actually does a change. And we'll play a sound effect, you know, optional. We'll have them, maybe we'll have sound effects turned on, the music turned off, default. What's up, Danielle G? How are you doing in an inventory? It'll look like this. I'm creating a component for each of the icons, and then I'm creating a component for the name of the item, and then I'm creating a component that keeps track of each item that's in the inventory. And I don't need to use variables because HUDmaker stores that and it calls it through code. Or it just calls it. It doesn't need to store it. It just calls it. So the next thing we need to add is when we click on this and we don't have it, we want text to be displayed that says you do not have that item. Cannot equip what you do not own or what you do not have. Something like that. So let's add that check in there. Back in the equip head slot scene. This would be outside of let's see here. This will be cannot equip text. You cannot wear what you do not have. Should I be like, unfortunately, you cannot, just don't condescend the player. You cannot wear what you do not have. So it's basically, oh, you don't have that. The font size, this will need to take up some more space. Let's give it 500. And this will be displayed down here along the center. But here's the thing, it will always display that if we do not make a condition. So we need to set up a switch. Let's have a switch 18 go. So if switch 18 is on, it will show this, and it won't show it otherwise. So then we can control.
So Legna asked, can you dynamically generate components in the HUD maker?
Like while you're playing the game? Or like, can the player make new components in the HUD maker while they're playing? I don't think so. Do I have food that gives timed bonuses? Not yet, Steve, but there are stamina item condition checks. So I plan to do that in the stamina system. As you gain stamina, it checks to see is stamina bonus running, and so like you could use an item to turn on the stamina bonus switch and timers. So yeah, eventually there'll be like things that you can do to increase your bonuses and like do stuff faster or gain stamina faster, etc. We're still making like some of the core menus before we add like special items and bonuses and stuff. Nah, I don't think so, Sir Legna. I don't think you can, the player as they're playing can like make changes to the HUD. Like besides changing variables and like make the HUD change based on what's already put in code. Like the player can't, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can give the player the illusion that they're changing the HUD and make the HUD change, but that's all designed beforehand with code. So right now, like, you've got this text that says cannot equipped, but it will only show if switch 18 is on. So we have to, in the game and through clicking stuff, turn on and off switches. So when we click on this helmet, what does this say? Copy. Oh, it's supposed to be dark still. So when we click on this helmet icon, we're going to make an on-click thing happen. On-click, we're going to, I mean, let's see, what do we have to do? Well, let's make it in a common event. Let's run a common event, maybe. Because then I need one for each equipment slot. If I write code, I would rather do most of the code keep it stored in the engine itself instead of HUD Maker. Just because it's more visible and I don't have to click through components. I can just, the MZ engine is more stable when it comes to like clicking fast on stuff and looking through all the common events. So maybe we just do a common event for each item. I'm not gonna have too many items, and we have, it's like, what is it? You can have 1,000 common events, right? Is it 2,000 common events you can have now?
I think it's 2,000, yeah.
I'm not going to use that many, so I'll be using hundreds. It'll be easier this way, I think. So when we click on this, it's going to run common event 62. So then we can decide what we want that to do inside here. Common event 62. Nope, I forgot to do a refresh. I got mixed up. So what we have to do is make this common event 63. All right, so what common event 62, let me hit refresh, save refresh. Now when I reload, we'll see that 62 actually did the menu transfer. See, now it's populated. When you save your game, you also have to hit the refresh button in the SRD HUD for it to like update. Let's make the transfer event. We already did, we just didn't hit refresh. Okay, that's what was confusing me. Back to the engine. Common event 63. This is going to be equip, head, or maybe we just say equip iron helmet. Equip and then item. So that's what we want to do. We want to run a check first of all. We're going to do a conditional branch, and the conditional branch is going to check to see if the armor, iron helmet, is in the party. We're going to do an else branch. So if the party has an iron helmet, it's going to try to change armors. No, not change. Change equipment. Change your head to iron helmet. Change equipment, Ronin, head, iron helmet. Now, I think you have to be careful here because you can equip gear that you don't have. So if you have one, wear it. We have to make sure we don't have a duplication glitch. Otherwise, we can just remove it as well. So we'll go as we'll make modifications as we go along. Getting tired here. On the else handler, we flip that switch. Very simple, but we don't want that to stay on forever. So let's do one thing at a time. We're going to turn on the switch 18. We'll name it missing item. So we turn on missing item. Now what we're going to do is have another common event called missing item timer. And what will happen here is it will be a parallel process that runs when missing item is on. And all it's going to do is control how long that we want the text to be displayed on the screen. Simple little trick here. Let's have it be displayed for 3 seconds. We'll make it 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, we turn its own switch off. Control switch, missing item, off. Does that make sense there? So then, when you click on it, if you don't have it, it'll say you cannot wear what you don't have. 3 seconds will happen, and it'll just disappear. But if we click it, and we have it, it will allow us to wear that. It'll equip that. And because it's done inside the game, we don't have to do any number changing, because all of this is handled in the database. This is why you use engines instead of coding all your own libraries, because it saves so much time in the long run. Oh, so like now, yeah, there's a thing called inside the HUD maker. Let me find the component here. If you go to custom collection, like you can create your own components that shows lists of items. And SRD showed me like it's possible, but it's complicated to do that. I don't really know how to do it properly. But there should be a way to like create. I mean, you still have to make it, right? It's not going to save you the work, but it'll save you time if you have to draw it multiple times. So like you make over here, you can make either a HUD or a component. And if you make a component, test component HUD. Like this is a component. And I can draw this. This is when I was testing the experience bar. These are all functions I was messing with. And if you make a component, you can like have your inventory right here as the component. And then inside of one of your HUDs, like over here, you can draw that component. And that component can be like your list of all your items. So if you have like a bunch of components that you need to draw all over the place, you can instead draw a component. Like what I should have done is instead of making this banner group, which has, you know, a dozen components, this whole top bar, I should have made that a HUD component and then just drawn that one component on each of the scenes. I did encounter one issue with why I did it the way I did it. I mean, that's not the reason why I did it, but because, you know, you have to change certain things in here. But like, it would make sense, right? Because it's like, why would you make a common event? It would be to save you from having to make that same event 100 times. Instead, if you make a change to that common event, it changes all the events. So adding components, HUD components, is better in the long run. But I'm not using them because I didn't know how when I started this whole format. And because of my OCD, I have to follow through with the convention. And if I break the convention, it'll break my mind. And the other reason is the text. I would have to exclude the text and add that manually, which would be out of the. I mean, it's just, it depends on how you want to do it. The short answer, yes, you can do that. Gosh, I'm so wrapped up now. What the fuck was I doing? This is why I just work on it and don't stream it, because I don't get a lot done. Oh, I was adding this text. We need to test it because we don't know if it's going to work until we test it, even though I think it should work. And because we made common event changes, we need to reload the project. So let's reload the project. I may have missed a component in here. We click on head slot. We don't have anything yet. So if we click on it, you cannot wear what you do not have, and it should disappear after 3 seconds. There you go. We did it. Iron helmet. You cannot wear what you do not have, and it disappears after 3 seconds. So that works. We can click it a bunch of times, and it should just disappear after 3 seconds. There you go. So that works. But we need to test what happens if you do have it. So at this point, I'm going to cheat the item in with a console. Data armors. What number is it? $11. We need to get one. We need to get one iron helmet. Okay. So look, you see this variable changed because I said give me this, give me armor number 11. And it did. It gave me armor number 11. So if we click on this now, it shouldn't say yada yada yada. It should just equip it. And look, we don't have it to wear because we clicked it and equipped it. But if we go here, you see that our guard changed. See that our guard changed. But what it looks like that happened is like, oh, it deleted my helmet. No, it didn't. It just put it on. But we haven't drawn that here. So we have to add a new component in the character status that shows that you're wearing a helmet. So this is going to be some more fun script that we get to do. Maybe have the item disappear if you don't have it. That's a good idea, Wrath of Wood. Maybe I'll do that. That would be very easy because then I just do a conditional check for... I could put subgroups in the helmet group. And if you have it, it shows it. And if you don't, it won't. That's a very easy way to do it. I like that idea. I agree. Like seeing that happen, I really wanted to hear... You know, I really wanted to hear something crunchy to go that oh, you equipped it. So I think I will default sound effects on and add sound effects later on. It will really add so much. However, give the option to turn them off, of course, in case you really want to go full idle. All right, so what I need to do is make a brand new component that's drawn on top of the background icon and the box itself. So this is the head background icon and the head box. Add a new component in here. It's going to be an icon. And it's going to be, oh man. This is going to be the hardest part, I think, for this. Because I don't want to make one for everything that you equipped. I want to make one component that checks what the player is wearing and draws the icon of that item. So I know I could just write some code to do that. Icon index, I can use code in here, right? Code. Oh, wait. Actor data? Actor... Oh wait, what does it give me? Actor info. It doesn't give me like equipment. General. Player data. Metadata. There's many ways I can do this. I'm not worried about like this not being possible. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best, easiest way. I think a variable would be the best way to do it, even though it's going to take like 10 variables. What I'm thinking is in the common event, when you click equip, you change a variable, and the variable number will be changed to the icon number, and then we just draw that icon number. So let's do that, because that's easy. That's super duper easy. I'm already using 200, so in the equipment, I'll use 202. So we're going to say draw icon 202. Cool. Let's go to here and set that up in the common events. So icon 202. We need to default it to something, don't we? Have a conditional as well. Control variable. Ah, shoot. I need to know what it is first. 1731. .202 is going to be helmet head slot icon. Head slot icon. That makes more sense. There's probably 7 ways to do this properly. Also a message saying, don't worry, you equipped the thing, it didn't disappear. Yeah, I should add that as well. Okay, so let's add another switch in here, control switch, and we'll call it item equipped. Item equipped. And that'll be switch 19. So we turn on switch 19, and then we'll make another timer that says item equipped. Vino with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Vino. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Vino.
When do we get a game where the forest and trees of Earth come to life and start attacking society for decades of chopping? Call it Wrath of Wood. Hey, hey. That's actually
kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The Wrath of Wood is a game where society gets attacked by trees that have come to life, treants, for all of the years and centuries of chopping. Thank you for the $5, Vino. That's a smart idea. Wrath. Now you know your next game theme. Attack of the Treants. We'll call it Wrath of Wood. Attack of the Treants. So this one's going to turn on if switch number 19 is on. If you equipped an item, it turns this switch on and the timer goes the same. Do a wait for 180 frames, which will be 3 seconds. And that'll control that. And we have to do a control switch that turns itself off, otherwise it'll never stop showing the text. Because it does seem like it just eats your helmet. It's like it's gone. So we'll make a component. Let's save it, and then we have to let's hit confirm, save, and reload, and add a component in the equip head slot area. Let's just add a new component, some text that says helmet equipped. Oh, helmet equipped text. This is for us. Helmet equipped text. And then this can say like, you've equipped. Now I can't say iron helmet because it'll just say that every time. You've equipped a helmet. It need to be generic. That way I don't have to make it customized. That's for later. You've equipped a helmet! Exclamation mark. An action has happened. You've done a thing. Boom. This needs to be Momager. That's what she said. Save that. It could be around the same spot because you'll never see both of these at the same. Well, maybe you will if you spam click. Anyway. but it would be like this probably. There you go. Oh, we need to add conditions for this, otherwise it'll always show. This is going to require that switch 19 equipped be on, and remember it'll only be on for 3 seconds and the game turns it off, so it'll only show this for 3 seconds. Very good idea there. Hey Veroclaw, how you doing? Now we're almost done here. I'm just wrapping up. I gotta write some code. Where are we at? Stat training? Oh no, damn it. Status. Takes so long. Wait, I added a new component, didn't I? Here it is. I added a new icon component. Okay. So it's going to use variable 202 for the number of the icon that it displays. And I think I set it to 300%, or was it 275? I need to check. This needs to be on top of the other ones. This is head slot equipped icon. Equipped head slot icon. And we also want to do another thing. Add a component in the description that shows what this gear is doing. So, I mean, that's going to be... maybe some conditional. Edit on hover. We need to change maybe just a variable. So let's call common event 66. Hold on. Maybe I just control and change a variable. No, we need to call a common event actually, don't we? Because it's got to run check. That might cause problems. I don't know how on hover common event. Maybe. You know, if we don't try, you'll never know. Okay, so on hover. Call a common event. 66. Common event 69. Not yet. We're getting there. What's up, Hezomello? How are you doing? Just downloaded HUD Maker Ultra, but how do I use it though? Or well, install it. I mean, it's a little late to go into the full tutorial. I recommend you watch SRD's tutorials. He will get you started and get you going and give you explanations of things. Watch the official tutorials on it, and then, you know, you can always ask on the Discord. Ask me on the Discord once you've watched. But watch SRD's stuff first, because he goes over it very well. Short, sweet, boom. Simple, how you use it. You spend time and effort, and then ask specific question. All right, don't get lost again. I gotta finish this up. We're on event 66. When you hover over the helmet, I want to add a component that changes a variable to show the description. Okay, and the name. Two things, two variables, the name and the description. Two more variables. So 66 is hovered. Hover equip helmet. Hover equipped head. I will be here when you get to Common Event 420. It's good to know. Thank you, Sir Legna. I appreciate the support. Change 2 variables. It'll be simple. All we want to do is change... No, we need a conditional branch first. Conditional branch. We need to... Won't be simple. It'll be a little complicated. We need to do a big branch to see what the players got on. Armor. No, this checks if they have it on. And this checks if they have it, period. I need to check if they're wearing it. I'm going to have to do this next time or later. Here's what needs to happen. A conditional branch with a script call. It's not hard, it's just time. You have to check the actor 1's current equips, right? So I'm going to look inside of a script call list, find the right code that checks to see if the player is wearing the first helmet 11 and then an else branch. If they're not wearing helmet 11, check to see the same, copy paste it inside of itself, check to see if they're wearing helmet 12. And then this code will let me know what helmet the player has on. And then I'll change 2 variables. One variable will be the name of that item, and the second variable will be the description of that item. And so that one will be very simple. It will be variable 203, and it'll be head slot name, and then head slot description. And we're going to set that to be that one. So like in this case, if it was 11, it would say iron helmet. So we're using a variable to set text because you can totally do that. Copy, paste, edit this, and then you type in the name of what that description is. Guard +5. And because then we add the components. This is I have to find the code. It's gonna take me a little while. You'd add the components in here, which is just kind of like down here. So we add a new component. Text. Actually, let's just copy this one because I've already formatted it. Copy, paste, edit this to say head slot. This is 203. I need to do a refresh. So save, refresh, and then drag this down. Come on, you want to snap to both sides? Just snap to the middle, bro. This is going to be hover, equip, head, name. Holding control lets you be like pixel perfect. Then we copy this, we paste it underneath it, we edit this, and we say you're going to show variable 204 head slot description. Boom. Hover over the equipped head's description. Like when I hover over this, it's going to show those pieces of data. Save. I also need to set them in the initialization because it's going to say 0, 0 otherwise. So that is in common event 1, initialize. Copy these two. Equipped name. Equipped description. it's not done. It has to be, it's got to check. I have to make that more varied so that it shows not just the head slot, but like it needs to check another variable. It's not hard, really. It's just I have to do a lot more stuff. But I gotta go because, you know, it's taking too long. We're gonna end the stream now. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. Appreciate it. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. What is this, Magnus? You could probably do something like this to get the icon index of an equip slot. What is he typing in? Let equip slot index equal 0. Let default icon equal 0. Default party.leader.equips. Equip slot not null. That's good. So if it's not null, now you're using a ternary operator. So check the equip slot index. I'm going to copy that. Actually, that's pretty good, Magnus. Yep. I'm copying that. I'm going to throw that into the Discord. Come join us on Discord. Thank you guys so much for coming to live stream. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join us on Discord. Links in the description below. We're going to put this inside of the MZ Ronin idol. Paste this in here. Code idea from Magnus. Appreciate that. Yeah, like I was gonna look for that and find that, but thank you guys so much. That's it. Have a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back us on Patreon if you can. Thank you so much, Vino, for the super chats today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good one.
Bye.
Sounds after stream. I haven't done that in a while. T, say something. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ready? I do it. There we go. How about that? Is this work? All right, here we go. This is for you, Sir Legna, for the support and the promise of support. I'm gonna make you a thing. It like cuts out all weird. I don't know. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go like this. It just sounds really bad and kind of sucky. Hold up, one more time. There we go. I was yelling across the room into a microphone. That's why it sounded really bad. It just kind of cuts out because the sample isn't really good. There we go. There you go. Are you happy? Did I give you a little improv, Sir Legna? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.